everyone. I am here with the story I told I'd be back with, A Glimpse of Heaven by Judy Ducarme. These are true stories of miracles that do happen. People send in to Guidepost, and they made a book. So let's read A Glimpse of Heaven. These are true stories. I flipped my phone, closed, and turned to walk back home. The tree-lined road was perfect for peaceful strolls, and I needed peace. The trees formed a canopy of leafy green that sprinkled sunlight and sang soft hushes in the breeze. I pondered what my friend had just said to me on the phone. Judy, so many people have prayed for Matt, and God is so faithful that I'm sure He provided opportunity for Matt to come to know Him. I'll rest in that, Lord, I whispered as I gazed upward into the trellis of green. What I saw next makes me laugh and cry to this day. Early that morning, I had been very surprised when my brother Gil called me to say, Judy, I have bad news. Matt died last night. That's not possible, I said, stunned and confused. But sadly, it was true. My nephew, only 41 years old, had died of a massive heart attack. His sister, the recipient of a double lung transplant, had died less than 3 years earlier, at the age of 31. I could not imagine the pain their parents, my brother Jim and sister-in-law Barb, were suffering. I'd always known Matt as a great guy with a wonderful sense of humor, as a loyal friend and amazing cook, but his life was riddled with problems. He was in and out of relationships, jobs, and drug addiction. Difficulty seemed to chase him, yet when I talked with Barb later that morning, I heard not just a pain in her voice, but also peace. She told me Matt had spent the past 3 weeks at home with them, and it was the best time they'd ever had together. He'd loved playing with his niece and nephews. He'd seemed happy. And Judy, Barb said, on Sundays he got up and asked, "We are going to church, right?" Her words comforted me, but on my walk I still felt a nagging uncertainty as I wondered where Matt would spend eternity. I'd shared my concerns with my friend on the phone as I walked among the trees. After we ended our conversation, I stood and gazed up at the trees, holding on to my friend's reassurance and determining to trust God that Matt had come to know Him and was now in heaven. Suddenly, it was as if a window opened in front of me. There was Matt, with his slightly long hair and a smile on his face. He leaned forward and with a chuckle in his voice said, "Aunt Judy, I made it." Then the window closed. As I went over the scene in my mind, remembering every detail and how quick it was, I realized I had seen something else. Several feet behind Matt stood a woman with long, dark brown hair. It had to be Maya, Matt's youngest sister. That made me smile. I thought perhaps it had been Maya's idea to visit me. How wonderful to know where Matt now lived. I could just imagine a little conference in heaven where it was decided that Aunt Judy needed to know where her nephew was. I laughed in utter delight, then I cried. I will be forever grateful for that glimpse into heaven, to know that Matt was there with Maya, and to know God's great love brought Matt to him and allowed me privileged information. I have no doubt that heaven is real, that my niece and nephew are there, and one of the most wonderful revelations is that, as my friend said, God is so faithful when we pray for someone to come to know Him. He will do what is necessary to give that person every opportunity to do just that.